Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. They call him the BOAT. And guys, what a weekend. What a weekend it's been, full of sports and entertainment and combat sports, boxing, MMA, everything went down this weekend. ESPN was competing against themselves. I'm like, then Showtime said, we jumping in the mix. We want a piece of this action too. The market got to be up. I'm gonna just say
money's up, market's up.
The market got to be up because, man, I've never seen. I've been watching, combat sports, and wrestling, of course, since I was a little bitty boy, and I've never seen that many events going on Saturday night, of course, and one night. Especially, on the same network competing against themselves. I've never seen that before. So we're definitely at a different time. It was always, we're not going to do a pay-per-view on the same night you're doing it. We're not going to be airing our stuff on the same night you're doing it. We're going to find, it was always that way. But now, man, the script has been flipped upside down. But the thing is, I like it, but I had a hard time trying to watch everything, man, because I had my computer on, I had my phone and the TV at the same time. and I fell asleep in the middle of all of
it. Let's see. Top Rank is Bob Arum, right?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why the UFC will go on the same time. We know there's no love lost between Bob Arum and Dana White, so I guess that they didn't lose too much sleep over that. But I was with you, man. I was trying to figure out what to watch, and I just went with the ESPN Plus. I watched that the fight night, and then of course last night you had Elimination Chamber. Here's the thing, Book. I was just happy to not be in the cold. I'll watch anything. You know what I mean? I'll watch competitive BMXing, or what's the sport they call it in the Olympics where they brush the ice? What is that? Curling?
Curling, yeah.
I was watch curling all Saturday night. I was just so happy to have power.
Man, what was the experience like, man? Of course, for people who don't know, Houston had a power outage. We were in the city suburb of Fringewood, Texas, right outside of Houston. And in Brad's area, he lost power. In my area, which is maybe a mile and a half up the street, we did lose power.
Yeah.
And so what was the experience? I know what it's like, living without lights and gas. And the thing is, it wasn't no storm going on. We just had the lights cut off. But what was it?
There's a storm going on in the bank account.
Had you ever gone through something like that before?
I mean, yeah, but not with it being cold, right? Like I remember it may have been Hurricane Ike or one of those hurricanes that we get where the lights would go out for a day, maybe a day and a half, and then they cut back on. But it was a little warmer, so you could open the windows, get some breeze after the hurricane had left, and it would kind of cool things off. But to be in the cold, I looked at the thermostat; it was at 1.41 degrees in the house, and then it got down as cold as 39 degrees inside the home. And with no power, no internet connection, I barely had a cell service at all. I'd get intermittent calls every now and then. It definitely felt like I was Bear Grylls. I was living in the wild for a little bit there. And
like one of those movies, 2021. Remember that movie? I think
2012.
2012, yeah, 2012, yeah. And everything.
It's what it felt like. It's what it felt like. Everything was iced over. And then here's... You know what, though? I didn't tell you this, but Booker T saved my life during this storm. I didn't tell you this, but I was walking out to the driveway the night after the storm. I was going to go check on, just see how the neighborhood looked after it snowed, right? So I'm walking down the driveway there, and there was the spot where you could tell there was ice, and then the other side, it looked like the ice had melted already, right? But that was actually not melted ice. It was black ice. It just looked like it had melted. So I thought that's a nice wet spot. So I'm going to aim for that. So I step over the ice onto the black ice, and I was like you at the Toyota Center ramp going up on your...
What they had to do with me, man?
I'm going to tell you why. Because as I was falling, I remember Booker T saying whenever he fell in front of me one time, I didn't fall, I took a bump. And then so that was going through my mind as I was falling, and I just said, tuck your chin, brother, tuck your chin, tuck your chin. Boom, and I hit flat back, shoulders. My ass hit the ground, but I was able to tuck the chin and protect the noggin. But I mean, it was rough. It was rough. But whenever the whenever the power finally came back on, it was literally like a heavenly, divine experience. And
Right.
and here's the thing though, I had it a lot better than a lot of people did. There were so many people, Booker, out here who lost their lives due to hypothermia, who went without power for much longer than the 50 plus hours that I did. People who didn't have any food in the refrigerator, didn't have anybody to come check on them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my heart really goes out to all of those families. And you know, I mean, I didn't get the privilege of getting on an airplane and flying to warmer climates, but
Cancun, like
yeah,
like
I didn't get there. I didn't get there in time, but my respect really goes out to people, especially the Houston Rockets organization. James Harden even stepped in and donated a lot of money, and you know, it was to see the city try to rally back from this. Also, always shout out to guys like Joel Osteen and Mattress Mac. It was a rough time. But I'm glad that we're on the other side of it.
Yeah, man. What's crazy? What's crazy though, dog, is it was only 3 days. You know, can you imagine going through that, like Chicago, you know, places like Detroit, go through that all the time. Every year they go through that same thing, you know, but the power don't go out there. They're obviously on top of their game as far as you know, the power you know, grid problem and whatnot. We definitely dropped the ball on that. And our leaders, man, going around blaming other people, that's definitely a bad look. It's for, I mean, why, if something go wrong, why we got to go blame somebody else? That's the first thing that comes to mind. But I tell you, man, we definitely got to get a handle on it, because I do not want to. Everybody that's called me, I was talking to another one of my friends. He said that everybody in his little neighborhood, in his area, all of his neighbors, all of their pipes bursted.
Yeah.
He said he was lucky he was the only one that didn't. And I was like, wow, you know, and you know, we was blessed out here. Again, I just got a build. I said, man, we got lucky. You know, I said, baby, we missed it, man. We escaped it. You know, we got to go bless somebody on this thing. But I say, you know, let me call the guy out and you know, let him take a look at some of our palm trees, because they took a beating, you know. And the brother came out and literally it was like 4 of them. He goes, that was dead. That was dead. That was dead. We might be able to save that one. And I'm looking at him because I'm thinking every time he say that was dead, it goes cha-ching, and that was dead. Cha-ching, that was dead. Cha-ching. You know, so I'm thinking every time he say that, how much this bill is going to be, right? Because he's going to have to pull it out. And he said, man, you know, man, I might, you know, hook you up, you know, a deal, you know, and do it all for $1,200. You know, and I was like, baby, we got to talk. We did get hit. You know,
we got it anyway.
You know, so we thought we had escaped it, but it still hit us on the back end, man. And the trees definitely took a beating, man. Took a beating, and I was like, man, you know what I mean. But it's just the way it is, man. You know, we got to pay our dues.
Yeah. No, and then like I said, you know, the bursting of the pipe. I didn't know. Did you know that we were on our own power grid? I had never heard that before this weekend. That there's 3 power grids in the United States. There's a East Coast, there's a West Coast, and then there's Texas.
The thing is, they never wanted us to know.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
And I'm hearing it's all about deregulation. They don't want to pay nothing. They don't want to winterize anything. If something blow out, it's like, you know, somebody got an old car. If something break out, fix it. All right.
I'm not gonna take any precautions.
I'm not getting a new one. You know what I mean? It's one of those. That's the way Texas has been running for the last 50 years. You know, and we've been lucky. We haven't had a storm come through like this, a historical storm that shut everything down all at one moment's notice. You know, so my thing is this, man. Hopefully we get on top of it. We got a whole lot to talk about. Elimination Chamber went down this week, guys. I know you guys got your comments. Send your comments. We're definitely going to take a few of them, explore, talk about what went down at the Chamber, who won, you know, who was the losers, biggest losers, perhaps at Elimination Chamber. I didn't get a chance to see all of it, guys, because I was in between. I had to do backstage. I had to do a watch along. I was all over the place, man, all over the place. But stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Like I say, man, coming off of a major weekend of sports and entertainment. Let's start there. Of course, boxing went down on Saturday night. UFC went down on Saturday night. Boxing went down on ESPN as well. But let's start with the Elimination Chamber, man. First of all, what did you think about the Elimination Chamber? What did the people out there and in the chat line, what did you guys think about the Elimination Chamber overall?
Yeah. Shout us out in the chats, whether you liked or disliked, thumbs up, thumbs down. We'd like to know. But I liked it, man. I had fun. The thing about the Elimination Chamber is I've always loved the concept of the chamber. I love how it looks on television. And it's a good follow-up to Royal Rumble. But it's another one that you really want the fan interaction in. And I think that they did a really good job of presenting the chamber this year. I like both of the matches. I liked that the card was shorter. We were off at like 8:30 Central was the end of the show.
Yeah, it was
nice.
quick.
It was a nice, fast pay-per-view. It was all killer, no filler. There wasn't a lot of, hey, why is this match on here? Or, when was this match? There was not a lot of that at all. There was, it was really quick and it felt right. And then I enjoyed how it ended. I didn't see the ending coming earlier in the day. And then right before I did a little thing on Twitter where I did my predictions. And I put a little asterisk and I said, The Miz might cash in tonight. I don't know where that came from. It hit me. I was like, I don't know. It feels like it might happen. Yeah. And lo and behold, we got a new WWE champion. But overall, I really loved the show. How did it look from your end? You were right up next to the chamber.
Yeah, man. Of course, it's always a spectacle, man. I was a part of the Elimination Chamber match back in 2002, the birth of the Elimination Chamber, and it's definitely changed over the years. We're actually talking about that as far as how back when we did that first chamber match, you can get hurt just walking to the ring. You know what I mean? I'm serious. And I remember trying not to do anything. I tried to do as less as possible in that Elimination Chamber match, you know, and I think I remember taking one hard bump and I was like, God, let's not let that happen ever again. No, I'm serious. One of those type of deals. And I was talking about last night how you have to have that daredevil mentality to want to be in those type of matches. You got to be young, man. You got to be literally like in your 20s. You just don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just don't know what, you know, when you're in your 20s, man, you don't have fear of death, man. You like, man, go give it to me. You're just one of those type of deals. But when you get a little older, man, you know, you think, you look at it, you think about it first, you know, wait a minute. What the hell are they thinking? You know what I mean? Because I'm the one that's got to go in here and do this. You know what I mean? Like walking over hot coals or something. It's not something you really, really want to do. You know, I don't care if you experienced at it. It's not something you really want to do. And I like I said, referenced it to, you know, back in the day, Evel Knievel. You know, Evil, you know, used to crash and burn, man, crash and burn. And broken bones all over the place. I know it's something that he didn't really want to do, but he was a daredevil, and that's what you got to be when you are part of, you know, those type of matches. But I remember Evil, you know, guys, you may not have ever seen Evil jump, but go back and watch him on YouTube. But more importantly, watch his last jump where he jumps, he crashes, okay. Crashes and burns. And instead of, you know, getting up and getting in the ambulance and going to the hospital, first he went to the podium, to the mic. He said, I want to thank everybody for coming out here and watching me tonight, but I will never, ever jump again. That's what those type of, you know, matches do to you. At the end of the day, man, your body, if you endure those type of matches, your body is, and I don't care what people say about professional wrestling, I dare any man to walk into one of those type of matches and think, whoa, this is going to be fun. No, I never thought that way.
Yeah, well, I can just by looking at the chamber, it doesn't look like a place that I would like to spend any amount of time in unless I'm a cameraman. But even we saw last night, cameraman took a little bit of a bump too. The first chamber match, it was the SmackDown match. The winner was going to face Roman Reigns. We thought it would be later in the night. Turned out to be right after the match. Came down to looked like Daniel Bryan. Looked like Cesaro was going to have a star-making night. That's what it looked like to a lot of people. The chatter was, hey, man, give it to Cesaro. Let him have this opportunity. I don't think he's ever been in a WWE Championship match in his entire career. And he looked great throughout this entire thing. I don't know if there's somebody on the roster as strong as him because I look at what he does. He deadlifts a lot of guys. You know, there's the term, quote unquote, get light, right? I don't think that he waits for guys to really get light for him. He just picks them up, deadlifts them, scoops them, slams them, throws them around, whatever he wants to do. The guy is a freak athlete.
Yeah, he is. And I tell you, that uppercut was all over the place, man. Woo. He was running, from one side all the way to the other leg. And the thing is, throughout my whole career, I was talking to JBL last night, and we was like, man, we were never able to do those uppercuts like that. You know what I mean? It just wasn't, you got to have a certain torque, you're like Finley, Regal, Dave Taylor, those guys. I don't know. A lot of European guys always, Cesaro, know how to throw that European uppercut better than anybody. I guess that's why we couldn't get it because he was American. But no, man, there again. Cesaro did have a star-making night, even, not coming out on top, man. The guy, I say Cesaro is one of those guys that's going to be around for a long time. He's somebody that you want on your team. Even after, his in-ring time, he's going to be somebody you still want, on the team from a, perspective, trying to make sure these young guys right the ship and whatnot, and speaking of young guys riding the ship, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, man, Cesaro had a great night.
Cesaro had a great night. Turns out Daniel Bryan is the one who gets the win in the Elimination Chamber. Going from the first spot all the way to the end, Daniel Bryan, since coming back, is still showing, hey, man, I'm here. I'm here and I can go all night long. Still one of the best in the business. But he does it, and then next thing you know, here comes Roman Reigns, looking as jacked as ever, down to the ring, does the world title match or the universal title match right then and there, beats Daniel Bryan, but then Edge, out of obscurity, jumps into the Thunderdome, spears Roman Reigns, and points at the WrestleMania sign, indicating that we will get Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania for the first time ever. These two have never locked horns ever in a WWE ring in a singles capacity. I'm excited to see these guys go at it. Remember last year we were going to get spear versus spear? It feels like this year we're finally getting spear versus spear. What do you think?
Well, one thing you got to look at it as well is, this guy is coming from a whole totally different era.
Yeah.
This is not just, two guys having worked with each other and been in the ring with each other. Two guys coming from two totally different eras. And, this is Edge's, probably third era that he's gotten a chance to work with. You know what I mean? I'm serious. So it's definitely one of those things to where, I remember feeling that way, saying, man, I've worked with three different generations of wrestlers that have come along, so I understand exactly where Edge is right now. It's going to be a hard road to hoe, though, as far as, going out there and actually matching up, because honestly, he doesn't match up with Roman. Roman's a beast, man. Roman has proved that he is truly the guy. I really feel that way. Not just because he said, but the guy's a top-notch worker. He's a top-notch entertainer. He's a top-notch performer. He knows the playbook. He knows what Shakespeare is all about, and he go out there and make it work. And that's why everybody right now, come on, man, all eyes on Roman. Just 2 years ago, everybody had no love for this guy. So obviously he knows what he's doing. Obviously he knew what he was doing back then. But maybe people wanted something, before, they was ready to actually give it to him. But right now, Roman is truly the guy, and I'm looking forward to it. But there again, if I had to bet money on it, it would be a great feel-good story. If Edge went out there and pulled it off, after the retirement, coming back, almost looked like he perhaps may have to go back in retirement, from getting injured again, come back, he wins the Rumble, going to WrestleMania, takes on Roman, wins, Cinderella story. Of course, man, everybody would love to see it, man. But normally, the story doesn't turn out that way in the end. In the WWE, I'm serious. So I'm looking to see how this thing play out. Hopefully, the people will get what they want, but a lot of people may want to see Roman win. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm excited to see Edge in that spot. I think the Edge being in the WWE title match against Roman, it's a really interesting match on paper. I just don't know if Edge is the guy to stop the run of Roman Reigns, right? I feel like Roman should just continue to go until that right person comes around. I do agree with the Cinderella story aspect of it, but, no one's been able to beat Roman. And I have a lot of love for Edge, friend of the show. From a story aspect, does nearly 50-year-old Edge, does it make sense for him to beat Roman Reigns straight up at WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't think I would like to see it, but I don't know if it makes sense from that.
We got a lot to talk about, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Ryan, I know you're actually one of the most underrated talents that's ever been inside a reality wrestling ring, but you're not the talent. Me beating you, becoming the greatest reality wrestling champion, it's not personal. It's inevitable.
Ryan King! Number 1, 2! He did it! Dreams do come true!
This is the bounty of all bounties. Are you ready to cowboy up?
Brian Keith, after all these years, cashing in and becoming the new reality of wrestling heavyweight champion, it was an awesome night. But this business, guys, has always been built on rematches.
You want your rematch? I'm a fighting champion.
You don't work hard like I do. You don't want this like I do. What do you want? Family? I'll bring your snot-nosed kids, your wife, your old ass.
I just want to let both of you guys know something. This match will be held inside the steel cage.
Lives get changed inside that match. Inside that structure, no one comes out the same.
Will history repeat itself? Will lightning strike twice?
Brian Keith is 15 feet in the air! Brian Keith from up top! Unbelievable cover! No! Brian!
And Ryan Davidson, I'm here to answer the call.
You get mauled.
Shoop! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. See some of the guys in the chat. They like the new commercials, whatnot. Guys, that's reality of wrestling. Check it out on YouTube each and every week. New episodes, and we don't do no reruns. All right, we don't do no reruns here at Reality Wrestling. Through the pandemic, we still been going strong. Producing the best content that we possibly can. And guys, Reality Wrestling is a small little company here in Texas. But
what do we do, Book?
But we work hard for our artists. So, guys, you want to be a part of it, go to realityofwrestling.com. I'm normally doing my wrestling one-on-one on Zoom every Thursday as well. So go to Reality Wrestling, check it out, see if we're going to be doing one this Thursday or not. I got to check with the wife. She got the schedule, whatnot. But guys, tune in. It's something really, really, really cool. What were we, man?
Well, we were talking about the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Roman Reigns versus Edge, now official for WrestleMania, which a lot of look, I'm excited about. People in the chat, I think they got it wrong, got it twisted. I want to see the match. I'm just not sure if Edge is the guy to take down Roman. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he is the right guy. I guess the question would be, if not Edge, who? Right? If not Edge, who would be the guy to take? And I don't have an answer for that. So I guess Edge is as good as any. I just think that Roman has been, this is one of those special runs. Remnant of King Booker, remnant of the first time that Austin 316 happened. You just see this run where the guy is on and you don't want it to end. You don't want it to end because it's finally all clicking.
Well, the thing is with I think with Roman, we're looking for someone for Roman to work with. Who is there for Roman to work with right now? Who is it? Who's the guy that we can say, okay, we're gonna put him with Roman, and we're gonna put the rocket on him. You know what I mean? Thing is, we know what we got in Edge, and we don't know, how. Well, we do know this. We do know Edge is not going to be around. Just say, for instance, he didn't sign a 10-year deal.
No.
Okay, we know the extent.
I think he signed a 3-year deal, and he's already on the 2nd year.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So we know the time is ticking as far as how much time we actually got to use Edge, and so we better use him wisely. Get something out of this thing. From a storyline perspective, Edge is a homegrown WWE guy. Been there from the beginning. He started there. So who better than to go out and beat Roman, take this thing, a few months, and then boom, say, hey man, had a hell of a run, pass the torch to the young guy, and we move on. Well, what do you think about that idea?
I mean, I like it. I guess I like it. I mean, again, I can't think of anybody better, and to see Roman. I mean, and the thing is, if Roman beats Edge at WrestleMania, well, it stops there. If Edge beats Roman, at least we can get a few more. We can get like a nice little program with Edge and Roman for a little bit. Let him work a little bit. So, I mean, I see what you're going with. A little fight. Look, hold on. A little $5 super chat that we got to get to before it disappears. AJRX, could the legendary Booker T return to play a huge part if the current WWE champion faces the current 24/7 champion in the main event of WrestleMania? AJ, I hate to burst your bubble. I highly doubt that Bad Bunny versus The Miz for the WWE title is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. However, if it were to be Booker T, would you be there?
Yeah. You know what I mean? If the money was paid,
sure.
You know what I mean? If they was paying me a check, you know what I mean, to show up and be a part of. You know what I like? Bad Bunny, and what he's doing, and getting the rub there again, getting a chance to live out a dream. This kid's popular. He's on top of the world right now. The last place he could be, if he wanted to, was hanging around in WWE. All right. So he's obviously there because he wants to be. He's got a passion, and when I see people like that, I say more power to him. People hate on David Arquette. Okay.
Right.
And what do I say about David Arquette? I said, I love the guy. I'm like, come on, man. David Arquette, if one of our guys that's, right now in the chat, WCW came to them and said, hey, we want to make you the world champion, what do you say? They're going to say, yeah.
Yes. Hell yes.
When they came to Goldberg, I tell this story all the time. They say, Goldberg, we know you don't have to know how to wrestle. Man, you look great. We're going to pay you $2 million a year. What do you say? You say, yeah. Okay. So in situations like with Bad Bunny, man, I've been seeing so much press. Some people have even been writing that, his people don't even like him. He's not liked in the locker room. Some of the boys talking about, he's taking a spot away from someone in the locker room, from WrestleMania. It's stories like that that's just ridiculous, man. I don't know if it's just clickbait. I don't know if guys are just trying to, create stories. But when I see stuff like that, I say, man, it's just really, really crazy. But me personally, I'm happy to see Bad Bunny doing his thing, and then also giving a guy like Damian Priest to rub also, and the thing is, Damian Priest is getting a rub. The thing is, it's going to be up to him to make sure he got to shine like new money now every week. When you get the rub like that, you got to go out and you got to perform at the next level. You got to your thought process got to go boom totally through the roof. You just can't go out there playing games and winging it and thinking you're gonna slip on a banana peel and it's gonna happen for you. You got to rub. You know what I mean? Man, when I was hanging around LL Cool J and I'm getting the rub on TV, man, I got to go out here and produce. I got to beat somebody up. You know what I mean? So that's just word from the wise to those two young men right there. Don't let nobody, kill your thunder, man.
And the thing about Bad Bunny, man, he brought the WWE. He's the WWE 24/7 champion.
Yeah,
he brought the title to Saturday Night Live.
Formerly 24/7 champion.
Who's formerly?
I think Bad Bunny's formerly 20. I think
No. He's still the champ.
Are you
Did
sure?
something happened last night?
I think something might have happened. I don't know.
I didn't see that. But at the time, and maybe something changed and I missed it. But at the time when he went to Saturday Night Live, he was the WWE 24/7 champion, and he brought the title with him to SNL. He was on the SNL stage holding the WWE 24/7 championship. I mean, he's a popular guy. Some of these dirt sheet writers would lead you to believe that he's not even liked in the Hispanic and Latin culture.
Yeah.
Which is just one of the silliest things that I've ever heard.
I was reading one article and it said, 5 reasons, Bad Bunny shouldn't be a part of WrestleMania. And the writer said, before, Bad Bunny did the song with Booker T, I didn't even know who he was. And the thing is, okay, he may not have known who Bad Bunny is. Sure. Okay, that I give you that. But it's a lot of people that do know who Bad Bunny is. So how can you, discredit who the guy is just because you don't know who he is? That's the kind of stuff that it kills me when I see it, when someone write it like they are, the gospel. And if they don't know about it, it can't be something that's cool. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, and guys like, I don't even want to mention his name, but everybody knows the main one, the main dirt sheet writer. And for him to say, what is Bad Bunny going to do? A bunch of 55-year-old white guys aren't going to know who he is. It's like, obviously you're missing the point of bringing this man in. You're obviously missing the point of it. So to people like that, there's no helping them. There's no helping them. But I got to say, Bad Bunny's well on his way of making himself one of the best celebrity crossovers in wrestling history. I really believe that. He's well on his way. He's there at every show. He's there at every pay-per-view. He's repping the company on Saturday Night Live, on Instagram, on Twitter, on everywhere. He's doing what he does. Huh?
Cheetos.
Whatever. He's breaking merchandise sales.
Bro, I'm serious. This Cheetos commercial is hot.
His Cheetos commercial. I was like, what are you talking about? Cheetos. He's on there with Snoop Dogg on the Corona commercial. And I think he did some X amount of millions of dollars in revenue sales for WWE.com, for WWEshop.com. The guy is he's making his path known, or he's making his presence known, I should say, in the WWE.
And we got a minute and a half left before we have to take a break. But one thing about the Hispanic community, man, I've said it once, I said 1,000 times. If you are, representing, the people, they are going to support you like crazy, bro. And it's obvious, in boxing, you get, great Puerto Rican fighter, great Mexican fighter, and it's in Vegas. The city is going to be full with the neighborhood, and they're gonna get the money. They're gonna find the money, and they're gonna pay. They're not gonna be looking for somebody to get some tickets from can you hook me up? No, they're gonna pay to get in. You know what I mean? Just like Pacquiao. Pacquiao got so many his people back, and we saw it. We saw the arena. We saw when Tyson Fury came to town. We saw his people flood Vegas and overcome the Americans. There was a contingency there that we was like, whoa. We got to get the hell up out of here. It's one of those type of deals. Man. Someone like Bad Bunny, man, his people going to support him, bro, no matter whether you know him or not. And that's the beauty of it, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Yeah, good evening here tonight. Who's ready for some matches, huh? Let's Schmodown. Questions are going to be asked to the field. They are each worth 1 point. Who plays Laura in the 2017 film Logan?
Daphne Keane.
Daphne Keane. Round number 2, each competitor is going to get a spin at the wheel. final round 3 begins.
Niet. No.
Sam Witwer has been eliminated.
Celebrity Schmodown, free-for-all style.
Let me see.
Team Classic.
This is why we play the Schmodown.
Rising Sun.
And your winner!
MMA or boxing, it's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out. The Schmodown, as we know, we got a little bit of a WWE flavor to it.
And I'm going to give him a show in Chicago.
Get your tickets. We are coming with the fire.
Movie Trivia
Welcome back, guys. We're in the Hall of Fame right now. That's the Schmodown, guys. You don't know about the Schmodown, get you some. Go online, check it out. You definitely could. It's one of those things to where you check it out, you can get hooked. I'm serious.
Yeah, 100%.
And you start watching it, you go, man, this is really, really cool. I want to be a part of it. And definitely, hopefully, as soon as we get things back right, Schmodown be back in the city real soon doing that thing, man. But I see we got a super duper chat.
Yeah, AJRX back. And by the way, I like that Jordan 1 and his avatar there.
Yeah.
I heard the name. I heard the name somewhere, but I didn't know what Bad Bunny looked like until he performed Booker T at the Royal Rumble. More power to him. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's a crossover appeal, man. Not only is Bad Bunny bringing an audience to the WWE, WWE's bringing an audience to Bad Bunny. And look, I was a Bad Bunny fan prior to even the Booker T song. I was aware of who he was. I listened to some of his music. He'd pop up here and there. But the guy's wholly talented, and I just like that he's bringing his talents to WWE for a little while. And I think that people need to shut the hell up and calm down. Here's the thing. There's always this talk amongst wrestling fans of, we wish wrestling was more mainstream. We wish it was more mainstream. It could get out there and everybody could see it, and we could bring in all these casual fans, and we could get the numbers back up to where they used to. Da, da, da. Always I hear that talked about. And then whenever WWE tries, or AEW for that matter, tries to bring in a mainstream star, the first thing that wrestling fans do is they crap all over it. Why are they bringing this guy in? He's taking a spot from somebody. It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too, guys. You can't have it both ways. I'm always for if it makes sense on all sides, because at the end of the day, this is the wrestling business. If it makes sense, I don't see a problem. We did it. We brought in a rapper, Les. Remember our guy Les? We brought it into reality wrestling. Guy from Houston, Texas. Top 10 album in the iTunes music charts. Shout out to Les. We brought him in. We did a whole angle with him because guess what? It made sense. He brought an audience. We gave him an audience. It just makes sense.
It was fun. It was fun too.
It was a lot of fun.
Thing is, I don't never think you should get too far away from what wrestling is.
True. Yeah.
By thinking it's something else, and a lot of times the fans, sometimes they're going to look at it and they're going to take it and they're going to, make it whatever they want it to be. But for me, I say the spit punch, that Rocky did, and I always say, man, why did people, why was that punch so hard? You know what I mean? Because Rock told him, brother, you better just sell this shot. You know what I mean? The people's elbow, the spinneroonie, stuff like that. It always, should find its way into wrestling, because wrestling it's not MMA. It's sports entertainment. It's to be embellished like a movie. And I think when we stop thinking about those kind of little things, like someone like Bad Bunny being a part of it, if we could find a way for Bad Bunny to be a part of it, like you say, that makes sense. Let's do it, because he's got an audience. And what are we doing here? We're entertaining. Hopefully we can get a piece of that audience, and hopefully that audience like this entertainment, and we'll keep them. You know what I mean? Going forward, it's just that's what the business has always been about. Promoting the show and how to get people to watch the show. And Bad Bunny's like I say, one of the top, if not the top, artists out there that's doing his thing right now today in 2021.
He was the #1 streamed Spotify artist in the entire world last year. I mean, it says it all right there.
And that's over Tekashi 6ix9ine.
It's over 6ix9ine. It's over Drizzy Drake. Over all of them. Lil Baby, Da Baby, Lil Uzi Vert. I mean, all over all of them. Okay.
Yeah, that's you.
That's huge. Rudy, if you were to go back in time to do something different, what would you do? And where did you get that scar on your back that I saw since WCW?
Man, what would I do, man, if I can go back? And the scar on my back, man, on the scar on my back, I was my brother lent me his motorcycle one day, and I was on my way to, I can't remember where I was going, but I was going around a corner, man. I was going pretty fast. But I hit some gravel and I downshifted. And when I downshifted, boom, it locked up on me. Bike went down. Man, I went flying. Boom, 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 boom. I went tumbling. And literally, after I tumbled, I don't know how many times I came right up to my feet and stood straight up. The bike was literally like just trashed. And I go, whoa. Because the thing is, it happened in a blink of an eye. It happened so quick. If I would have died, I wouldn't have known it. That's how quick it happened.
Wow.
I'm serious. I got up and I was pretty, road rash. I got some road rash on my arm right here, and then on my leg I had something. And so I thought I was okay. I felt my back stinging. And the place that I worked at was right down the street, apartment complex. I went back. And we had this one little room right by this guard gate. I was a security guard, and right by the guard gate, it was this apartment that we used to clean ourselves up. It was empty. And I went in there just to see how I looked. And I turned and I looked at my back, and I had that scar going all the way down my back, and it was laid wide open. And I just screamed as loud as I could. No one was in there but me. And I just like, oh, I know what the heck is happening here. So I definitely, created something. That was the creation. That was the beginning of GI Bro. Caught some shrapnel back in '85, back in Grenada. That was the story from that point. But if I could go back in time, man, I would have finished school, and I would go to college, and I would become a lawyer, man. I love the inside the courtroom and how those minds work, and how you can really use that power for so many. My brother-in-law, he's a Harvard lawyer, and he was on the case of Aaron Hernandez, and the case where actually he got off before he committed suicide. I'm so enamored with what he does with his mind, and how he articulate and formulate his sentences, and how he just create just from words. It's amazing. And I think that's what I would do more than anything is go back in time and finish school, get a degree, and be one of these big time lawyers.
Well, that'd be cool, man. I didn't realize, and you I know studied it a lot, but I didn't realize until I watched that People versus OJ show how much Johnny Cochran really thought about his presentation to the jury, not just the presentation of the facts, but the presentation of the facts with his words and his candor and the vernacular that he used and the colors that he painted. I didn't realize how imperative that articulation was to him convincing the jurors that O.J. Simpson was indeed not guilty. And to me, that's the side of the law that I also find fascinating, or finding the little loopholes, or, when you read the sentence this way, it means this, but if you just change that word, it could mean that. I love all that stuff. I think that would have been a fun thing to see you do. We have a couple minutes. One more super chat coming in right here at the $5 level. Brett, what's your view of Matt Riddle after last night? Matt Riddle is the new United States champion, defeating Bobby Lashley and John Morrison in a triple threat match. What do you think, Book?
Honestly, I didn't see the match. I read that he won, but after the comments I saw on the internet, as far as what, I don't know if thing is, I don't know if Matt Riddle said what was written in the the post or the writings, whatever it was, about the Undertaker. I saw some about him saying wrestlers back then, they were dumb, and the thing is, when I came to WWE back in the day, I had to go and take a course. It was a course, like a media course. It was about how how to talk to, the media. When you get someone, trying to, interview you and they ask you certain questions, how you should answer those questions, how you should, deflect, how you should pivot, answer the question just a certain way. And I think, then again, I don't know. Maybe that might be what's happening with someone like Riddle, because a lot of times, with these, these dirt sheets and these, so-called reporters asking someone questions, they're looking for clickbait. They're looking for something that
100%.
right. And the one thing that I noticed in the writings was Riddle. What was it? Riddle confronts the Undertaker, or something like that. But it was something to make you look at it. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering if it's just, Riddle saying something perhaps that these guys can literally make sound this way and put it out there to make people read it. Or if he did say it, it should be a problem. That's where I'm at on that. If Riddle did say anything about what the Undertaker said
regarding the soft comments is what we're talking about.
Regarding whatever it is,
yeah,
it should be it should it should be a problem, because I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the first real interview the Undertaker has ever given. And for someone to be giving him pushback on what he see, what the business is today, that person should go and talk to him, not some reporter. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. Should it be some pushback as far as, from guys like myself, if he did call guys from our era, oh, those are just dumb guys. What do you mean by that, first and foremost? All right. What, and how do you come to that conclusion? And then I was reading about the part as far as, I know we got to take a break. As far as
you're fine.
I know MMA guys, they're really, really tough. You know what I mean? Well, go and work for Dana White. Remember what Dana White said at the end of his run in the UFC. Go back and do that if that's what you want to do. But if you're doing this and you're confusing it with doing that, it's a problem. And if someone don't address it, it's going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah, and I will say that a lot of times journalists can look for that quote that they can turn around and give a headline and do it. However, I do think it happens a little too often with Riddle, right? I mean, I could give him the benefit of the doubt once or twice, but it happens like a little bit too often, and it always seems to be in reference to somebody who came before him. And I just don't know if it's because these guys aren't in the locker room anymore. He thinks that he can speak a little bit more freely of them or what have you. But I know, as someone who's never been in the WWE locker room, there's one guy that you don't ever cross, especially in public, right? And that's the Undertaker. You show him the utmost respect, and if you have an issue with him, I'm sure that he'll be more than happy to hear it out.
Well, the Undertaker,
you don't do it in the interviews.
He's not Goldberg. He's not, he's not me. He's a guy that has paid his dues, and he put that company first. Overall, every
30 years.
And the thing is, if the Undertaker, who's a good friend of mine, if he don't know what the hell he's talking about, none of us do. And we should all just, quit the business. We should all just, stop even, looking at it. We should not stop even commenting on it if that's the way, because I look at it like this. Roger Federer. I'm sure every young tennis player, wish that they could just have a match with Roger Federer, even if they get the hell beat out of them. I know when I was coming up, me and my brother, we called the Rock and Roll Express out, so many times, man, because we just wanted to get the pleasure of, taking that double drop kick. You know what I mean? So I'm serious, so I knew, what those guys brought to the business. And when I hear that kind of stuff, man, it just irks me that no one else other than, people like myself is saying something about it. It's definitely a problem. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, you sucker?
You know how WWE is, man. You're on the road, you're on the road. Like,
Yeah.
You working your ass off, right? So I happened to have a Sunday off, and I was sitting at home, and I had literally an ice bag on both knees, and then my bell on my gate, bell just started going off, dee 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 dee, over and over and over, right? And I'm like, what the hell? What the God? So I jumped up, the ice bags flew everywhere, right? And I go out, open my door, I go, who is it? And they go,
It's Booker T here.
I said, oh, hell. So I walked to the door and I said, God, get away from here, guys. This is my house, And literally, it was an 18-year-old and like a 19-year-old. One was on a mini bike and one was on a go-kart. One of them goes, we want some autographs. I said, get out of here. He said, well, F you then, N-word. And boom, literally. I was so mad, right? They took off on the go-kart in the mini bike. It literally, my head is fuming. I go and jump into my Hummer, right? Charmel's like, baby, no, don't do it, baby, stop. So I'm like, no. I jumped in, I jump, roll out of the gate, right? I go down the street. I look both ways. I couldn't see him, right? And I just said, I'm gonna take a guess and go right. So I went right, went down a little bit, and I saw both of them, okay? And I was like, oh, I got him now. Now the one on the mini bike, it was a little ditch area. He got through that ditch area. The Hummer couldn't get there. The one on the go-kart, he tried to go. I blocked him off. Now, he turns around, and he's in these people's yard. In this yard that this go-kart is in is probably a couple of $1 million house. He starts doing donuts in these people's front yard. Dirt, grass going everywhere. And I know these people were so upset when they came outside that next morning.
What the hell?
So he comes out on the street. He rolls down the street a little bit. I get behind him in the Hummer. I'm on him like this, right? Rolling down the street. So he gets scared. So he goes in some more people's yard and he goes a little ditch. And the chain comes off the go-kart. I commenced to power walk towards him. I said, you better not run. I grab him by the back of the head, takes him to my Hummer, tosses him in. I get in the Hummer and I go, okay, now call me the N-word now. And then he was so scared. And he said, I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, God. I said, okay, I tell you what, you're going to take me to your house right now because I want to talk to your parents and tell them exactly what you said to me, right? So we're literally about no more than 2 blocks away. Before I got him a block towards what we were going to, it was several police cars behind me.
Driver, pull over now!
A brother walking in the neighborhood late. Something could happen. You know what I'm talking about. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We rolling, man. We rolling, man. That's true, man. That's a true story, man. That's a true story, man. I caught that kid, man. Put him down, man. I was like HPD on him, friends with PD or something, man. We got the key to the city out here, man. I can do that kind of stuff, man. Talking about got our own day out here being bred. So
it's true.
Kind of like can make citizens arrest and stuff like that. So I wasn't doing anything wrong, I don't think. When I come to now, since I come to think about it, you'd already had a key to the city back then, it was a different time. But we back, man. Like I said, I don't want to waste too much time on Riddle or anything like that, because I know people are going to be writing about, that and whatnot. But that's just my piece on it, man. I'm just going to tell it like it is. And if guys like myself, if we can't speak up on how the business is without somebody taking offense to it, there again, it's a problem. My thing is, if I was in that same position, I think, somewhat like, we heard just on the other side not too long ago, Jim Ross had something to say about someone, and that guy said, well, if Jim Ross said, and something about me, obviously, he sees something. You know what I mean? So the respect issue goes a long freaking way more than anything. And I think that's where the business is totally different than it was when I was coming up. And should things change? Yeah, I think they should. I remember back in the day, me and the Young Bucks, we had a beef,
Right.
And it was about, shaking hands, and the thing is, it totally got taken, I think totally out of context, but they used it and they kind of like came up off of it, more power to them. But on the other hand, those are two of the most respectful guys I've ever been around when you actually are around them. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're guys. I think they're the type that, hey, give us some respect and we'll give it to you. That type of deal. And I agree with that right there. If someone wants respect, you got to be able to give them respect. And the thing is, when just say for instance, when the Undertaker was talking, who said he was talking about you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing right there. Also, why do you put yourself under that banner of what the Undertaker was talking? Why would you? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So,
good point.
So when a reporter, asked me that question right there, what do you think about the Undertaker calling you guys soft? Well, he wasn't talking about me. You know what I mean? It's a very, very simple. No, I'm serious. It's a very, very simple way to answer that question. You know what I mean? And not put yourself on the news. And that's just my opinion on that. I could be wrong, but why? Continue wanting to put out fires. One of those fires is going to end up burning down the whole damn house. Okay, especially when you got a family at home to take care of. That's just my opinion. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's touch on all the stuff going on with the women last night, Elimination Chamber. We were going to see Lacey Evans versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Lacey Evans, both, I guess, on television and in real life, is expecting a child. So congratulations to her.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Lacey. I know she already has a little daughter. So adding to the family, expanding the family. And
this came out of nowhere too, man. Just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, bam! You know what I mean?
It beats like that.
Champagne wishes, caviar dreams.
I love though that they let on TV like when she said it last week. She was with Rick and she's like, I'm pregnant or whatever, and then Rick goes, "Call me daddy," woo, and he starts doing the stuff, the old Ric Flair, everything, and I was like, oh my god, that's something I need. I need that as a gift. That someone make that a gift and send it to me. Call me daddy, woo.
I don't know, man. My thing is this, man. All the girls, man. Back in the day, man. Again, I'm gonna stop saying back in the day. It happened like this. Just all of a sudden, you with the child, and
right.
Out of the picture. It's crazy, man. I don't know. I know, women, man. They're definitely always thinking about that, and there's always something in the back of their mind. The clock is ticking and whatnot. Boom, and if it's happening, it's going to happen. But man, I tell you, it definitely throws a monkey wrench in everything. When something like that happens, boom, just like that. And, next thing you know, you're out of the picture. You got to regroup, got to totally rethink everything. What does this put Ric Flair? What does this put the angle?
I know.
Where we're going with this thing now. Is Ric Flair, the question is Ric Flair the daddy?
Well, he said to call me daddy. The thing where I thought this was going is I thought that Lacey Evans, with Ric Flair's help, was going to win the the Raw Women's Championship last night, and then they set up Charlotte versus Lacey at WrestleMania. That was where I thought it was going, right? And then you have Charlotte victorious and rubs it in her dad's face, what have you. Doesn't look like that's obviously going to happen anymore. So I think the angle's kind of dead in the water, unless no, it's kind of dead in the water. Unless Rick dumps Lacey and finds some other fine young tenderoni that he can hop on there in the locker room, and then we just continue it like that. But I think it's kind of dead in the water.
I don't even know how this started.
Remember, like Charlotte told Rick on Legends Night, I don't need you in my life anymore. You're always trying to steal a spotlight, what have you, what have you. And then Rick, I guess, says, hey, you know what? If she doesn't want me in her life, maybe somebody else will. Then he finds Lacey Evans, and then they have a strictly business relationship that now is altered into issues with child on television.
Whatever, man.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the other match that we saw the Women's Tag Team Championships, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler victorious over Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Building more toward that Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, I think, is what we're going to see at WrestleMania. I don't know where the where Shayna and Nia go from here. I do love that you made reference to her recent injury on the pre-show last night. You said things haven't Things haven't healed all the way up yet. What was it? What was the line that you said?
Still a little tender in that region.
Oh man, but that was what we got. By the way, if you haven't already, go check out. Sasha did an interview with Steve Austin after the show last night. It was really, really, really good. She was real honest about a lot of things in her career, and I have a lot of respect for Sasha going into WrestleMania. But Book, let's get to the part that everybody's been waiting for. People have been waiting for us to get to this part of the show where we can talk about history being made last night. Booker, you were one of the few. You're one of four to be a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
You're one of four guys to hold that distinction. Do you know that now the new WWE champion, as of last night, is the first man in WWE history to do the Grand Slam cycle twice, winning?
What do you mean? How do you do that twice? What do you mean?
So meaning he made Grand Slam, right?
Yeah.
IC title, tag title, whatever, the US title, WWE title, Grand Slam once. Then he won all those titles in succession a second time.
You know what? That shouldn't even. That's bogus. All right. That should. That's just some made up stat that somebody just made up. Because it didn't even sound real. You know what I mean? Well, what are you talking about? If you're Grand Slam champion, that means you've won them all. At least once. You know what I mean? If you do it twice, you just done it twice. It's just part of the deal. But since when? That makes no sense.
Well, I'm just telling you that these are the stats that I'm hearing. These are the stats that I'm hearing.
You know what?
From the internet.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I've never seen anything like that. I don't know why. How you can be a two-time Grand Slam. That's just me. Maybe go to IHOP and get him a Grand Slam, and that'll make him the two-time Grand Slam champion. But other than we got to go to break. All right, stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityofwrestling.com for all the information, starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
The Academy.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking about the Grand Slam champion and all that stuff, man. Like I say, I ain't with that, man. I'm not with that.
Well,
but I appreciate Miz doing the thing. Miz is the champ again. Miz, in a great position. But what I hate more than anything, man, is there again, man. The dirt sheets. They ruin it for me. They always a spoiler out there or something. I was reading today in the dirt sheet. Well, Miz has just got the title. He's going to lose it before WrestleMania 37. to such and such. This is just done because, and I'm like, man, it totally took me out of, that one article I'm reading, and maybe I need to unplug, maybe I need to be like Neo from the Matrix and just totally unplug. I'm serious, because that story right there, if that happens, it totally kills everything that they built up for The Miz to actually, do just last night. I don't know. For me, what do you think?
I don't like spoilers in general in anything. I avoid them at all costs. So I don't read too much into it. If it says spoiler warning, I don't even look at it. But I do think, let's start off with, again, I'd like to congratulate The Miz, friend of the show. The Miz has been on this show multiple times.
Good people.
Good people. And I've actually been one of the people who I remember we had The Miz on. It was at an Elimination. Oddly enough, it was at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, I believe 2 years ago in Las Vegas, Nevada. We were back interviewing some of the boys, and we had The Miz on. And I remember asking The Miz at the time, do you ever think that you'll be the WWE champion again? Because at that time, there was kind of this organic push. They're like, man, Miz could be the WWE champion again. Man, Miz is doing pretty good stuff. And I think that he was like, if the opportunity arises, I will rise to the occasion. But I'm here to do my job, whatever they give me. I'm going to go out there and just do the best of it. And I think it's the reason, that with that mentality, it's the reason why The Miz has been relevant for the last 10 plus years on WWE television, because he really is a guy who goes out there and whatever you give him, he goes out and makes the best of it. It might not be the greatest material in the world, but you can't tell me that Miz isn't putting 125% into it. Right? He is a very believable guy on the microphone. So for him to go out there and win the WWE Championship, it's the first time in a decade that he's won the title. It's kind of crazy that he's even been around that long to have a 10-year break between being WWE Champion. But I loved the move because, like you said, I didn't really see it coming. There was something that told me 30 minutes before the show started, I think The Miz might do it tonight. And it was one of those lucky guesses because I really didn't think that it was going to happen. Miz pulling the HBK, or not the HBK, the Edge cash in. Remember, Edge first cashed in on John Cena at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view after Cena defended the title. The Miz doing the same thing with an assist from Bobby Lashley. So I guess that's my question for you. How do you feel about Miz being WWE champion, and where do you think Bobby fits into this? Do you think that we will see Bobby Lashley in the WWE Championship match come WrestleMania? Is that a possibility?
Anything's a possibility in wrestling, but I wonder myself, because I thought Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania, and it's a hell of a build. You got fans that actually, witness it. That's a hell of a build right there. And I talk about, the fans, Drew McIntyre, he has his fans, man. They're going to follow him. They're going to support him. Definitely, it will be intriguing from that perspective right there. Bobby Lashley never being in that position. Man, can Bobby crack through at WrestleMania? It would have been, oh man, the news clipping, man, people would have been talking about that right there, big time. And for me also, I'm thinking about the time that we got to really put some steam behind this thing between now and WrestleMania, opposed to trying to hot shot it or anything like that. So I was wondering, well, I wouldn't say I was wondering. I thought Bobby was, making his claim last night, and then The Miz came in and boom, totally dropped the curtain on me, and I was like, oh man, they got me on that one right there. So I'm like a fan, man. I'm wondering where it's gonna go also, but I tell you, man, I watched Bobby last night and just looking at that man right now. I don't know, how old is Bobby right now? 42 maybe,
something around there. I'm about to look it up.
And man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I've never seen Bobby Lashley or anybody. 44. That dude is looking better than I've ever seen any man that has ever stepped inside that squared circle at 44 years old right now. And he's definitely, his mind is triggered as far as going out there working a certain way. When Bobby works, you think someone is getting killed. You think he definitely could be the world heavyweight champion. You wonder if he get Drew McIntyre in that hurt lock. Is Drew McIntyre going to be able to come out of it? You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, man, we had a wrestler by the name of Hercules Hernandez.
Yeah.
That was his finish, you know, the full Nelson. And if you got you in that full Nelson, man, you know, you was toast. But the one guy who could come out of it, you know, that's the story. That's the story right there. So I'm wondering, is Bobby Lashley going to get a plate at the table? Because like I said, last night on the kickoff show, he's in that mood right now where he don't want no food. I mean, he don't want no bread, no water, just meat. Yeah.
I've been a fan of Bobby going back to 2005 when he first came in. And when he came back to the WWE, it felt like, okay, man, he's home. But he never, for the first 2 years, it never really felt, he was just kind of out there. Remember they put him with, what's my man's name? They had the manager for him, the mouthpiece, the wrestler. Oh my, I can't believe I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
Who was it? Who did he
Lashley.
You're talking about what's his name?
Yeah, why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? It's killing me. Either way, they put him with him.
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Thank you so much. God, I could not get it out of me. Leo Rush. They give it to Leo Rush, and it felt like, okay, he had a little something. And then with Lana, it was like, I don't know, this isn't the story Bobby should be in. Then when he got with Envy, it was like, okay, this makes sense.
We got something here.
Envy cuts one of the best promos on the show. Every time I see him on there, he sells me on whatever he's talking about. And we've seen him do it down here at Reality Wrestling, but what Envy's doing on WWE television, this is the best he's ever been utilized in his career, in my opinion. And to be there with Bobby Lashley, who's not known so much for his promo ability, but known for his physique and his in-ring work. I love this pairing, and I think that if Bobby gets a shot at the WWE title, whether that be at Fastlane or at WrestleMania, I'm 100% down for it. AJRX with the $2 super chat. Bobby Lashley is this generation's genetic freak. V Infuso, $5 donation.
Appreciate it, Doug. Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody was giving us the Iggy right there as far as Leo Rush.
I know. I see that.
We appreciate y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I miss Leo Rush, man. Hopefully he'll come back, man.
He's I think he just won the title in MLW.
Right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was reading that as well.
But I love the thing about The Miz that I love when he won the title in 10, and I love that he's winning it now, is people get so mad that The Miz is the champion. I mean, they were pissed back in whenever that was, 2010, 2011. They were so mad. And then for him to win the title again, they had the same reaction this time. And he even went on Instagram and he posted something, that was just mocking the fans. I want to see if I can find it because it was really hilarious how The Miz did this. I don't know if I can pull it up on here. I can't, but this is
his WWE champion again. Get used to it.
I just love I love how he plays into the fans. He does it so great. And I don't know where it's going, but wherever it's going, I enjoy it. I enjoy The Miz.
Where it's going, man, because there again is wrestling. The Miz is a guy that, like you say, he's a diehard, man. He's a guy who really loves the business. He's a guy who's paid some real dues. And he, one could say, man, well, does he deserve it or not? I think so. I think he deserved it. Deserve it because he's a guy that's a utility guy. Just because, and I say that because, for the last few months, he's been doing Miz and Morrison TV. He's been coming out there making jokes. He's been bumping for guys. He's been putting everybody over. That's all he's been doing.
Yeah.
And from the outside looking in, you don't understand that a lot of times. You don't see it. You don't understand why. But I tell you, when I watch it, I go, wow, man, for him to have been in it this long, picked it up, understand exactly what it's about, it's cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, RS Gaming with the $5 super chat. The Miz is low-key one of the best troll heels in history. I always enjoy when he becomes a wrench in the flow of things. And I agree with RS Gaming. I've always been a Miz fan, so interesting to see where this leads us on the road to WrestleMania, Booker T.
Yeah, definitely gonna, like I say, throw a monkey in the wrench. But I'm looking like you just said that too. The Miz is one of those guys. You always love to hate. Why the Miz? We're gonna find out. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Between these two. Oh my goodness! An elbow and a forearm right to the face and another one, and that's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this, she just raking Angela's face across the middle. Oh my goodness, that's hard to watch. Oh man, what is she thinking? Oh no. Top rope suplex, superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press. Shooting star press. Cover 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm gonna tell you, man. Every time I see that right there, man, I get a little choked up watching AQA. She just signed with the WWE with the developmental group. Just going to be starting here pretty soon. I think it's a group of like 20 of them, and for her to get the old knock, man, I sure appreciate it. Just to see what a reality of wrestling's fine is, go out and just shake up the whole world. In 2021, it's going to be beautiful, 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 man. But yeah. What were we, man? What were we?
I mean, we were talking still about the Elimination Chamber overall. I thought it was a great show. We'll be interested to see what happens on Raw tonight. I think this is the last segment of the show. So, Book, do you want to talk UFC or do you want to talk a couple short AEW stories? Where do you want to go right now? Where do you want to go?
Oh man, well, we got AEW, man. What we got?
Well, there's a couple things going on in AEW. Let me pull up some of the news. But first, I mean, I think that you and we talked about it a little bit, but I mean, Sting took a pretty massive bump there from Brian Cage. That was making the headlines a lot. There is now going to be a exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW championship. Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. And of course, the Shaq is about to make his debut in a tag match on March 3rd on an episode of Dynamite. Shaq versus Cody with their tag team partners going into that. So any of those you wanna throw something on?
The Sting bump is the one thing that kind of got me more than anything.
Woo!
And I know, you want to be a team player. You don't want to be a guy, sitting on the sidelines. You don't want to be sitting on the bench. You want to get in the game. Coach put me in the game. And I know, I know that Sting's mentality. He's not gonna want to go there and get a paycheck. Hey guys, come on. Don't treat me like I'm one of the old guys. He's that's the way he's gonna. He wants you. He want to feel like one of the boys. You know what I mean? So one way you could ingratiate yourself with the boys, go out and take a big bump. You know what I mean? Go out there and do something crazy. Jump off something. You know what I mean? That's what Sting did. He went out there and took the biggest bump you could possibly take in the business, which is a power bomb by Brian Cage. And I tell you, man, it was a hard bump. It was a hard bump. It definitely was one of those bumps after, coming off the deal with, Seth Rollins. I want to test myself. All right. Now, let me test myself. All right. Let me go out here and see if I can still take it. And at 61, I don't know, 61, 62 years old.
61.
Yeah. I know taking a bump like that, for me, I'll be 56 here in a couple of weeks. And I know I will be, in a straight jacket. telling everybody, don't touch me, don't move me. You know what I mean? So I can only wonder how he feels today after taking a power bomb like that. And the thing is, was it something that was warranted? Is my question. And my question is, my answer is no. I say, man, beat me down. All y'all gotta do is just beat me down, put the boots to me. Y'all ain't gotta do nothing else. You know what I mean? I will sell it like a car ran over me. And we would have got what we needed out of this deal. But for him to actually go and take a power bomb cold, okay, because you can't warm up to take a power bomb if you haven't had a match. All right, ain't enough stretching in the world. And I remember a buddy of mine, I quote, told me, and I quote, "Never work a cold muscle." Coming from the Disco Inferno, Glenn Gilberti.
Smart man.
I tell you, man, it's one of the smartest things someone's ever told me is to never work a cold muscle. And I always wondered, because I don't know. I think we were in the locker room or something when he said that, and I'm like, who the hell is he telling me never work a cold muscle? But then I was thinking at the same time, but it sounds something that I might want to do.
Sounds like he might know what he's talking about.
I swear to God.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Sting had a whole back full of cold muscles. That power bomb looks so vicious. And the thing is, we were just talking about the worst finishers to take, and you mentioned the awesome bomb, right? I can't think of a move that I'd rather take less than a power bomb, right? I mean, you wouldn't take it at 61. You wouldn't take it at 51. I don't know if you took too many power bombs at 41, Booker T.
Hey, right now, I may have taken 5 power bombs in my career, and that's a shoot. It's because I was never one to take one because I'm sure it was going to hurt. And I've worked with the Steiner brothers. I've worked with some of the biggest guys you want to be out there with. Kevin Nash, of course, is giving me a power bomb. Kevin Nash may be one of the only guys that has ever given me a power bomb. And the only reason Kevin gave it to me because it was his finisher. And he knew how to do it where I wasn't going to get hurt. If you ever watch Kevin Nash do a power bomb to a guy, man, it's the most beautiful power bomb a guy is ever going to take. I mean, is it
really? Because it looks like he just kind of, does he let you kind of take your own?
Once you get there, he guides you right like a feather right to your landing spot, and there's no jerking or anything like that. But Kevin Nash perhaps was the, best guy at giving, a power bomb. Definitely, I wouldn't want to be taking one from Brian Cage. Let's just get that out there right now. Okay. But nah, man, like I said, was it wise? There again, I don't think it was wise. But there again, when you got those juices flowing and you want to be one of the boys, you're going to jump back out there, man. But I was looking at some boxing on Showtime this weekend. Adrian, the Problem Broner got back in the ring. Santiago. And the thing is, man, to watch Broner at this stage of his career, man, he had on a nice outfit right in the front of his trunks. It had about billions. I don't know if this brother, owns something, been smoking something. He ain't gonna get nowhere near $1 billion. He needs to stop talking about that. Okay, his career is shot. He got a favorable decision. Just because perhaps he's the most popular fighter right now, still he got one more good fight left in him against someone that could, go out there and, beat him up and take their career to the next level. But Adrian Broner is merely a shell of what he once was, or what once could be. I don't think he was never what we ever thought we was going to get out of the Problem, Adrian Broner, other than him being a problem. But
yeah, it for him though to get that win. Sometimes you just when you hear a basketball player talk about going on a cold shooting streak. They say all I gotta do is see the ball go in the hoop. That's all I gotta see, and then I'll fix it all. For Broner, do you think just getting a win, just getting a W, even by a decision, favorable decision at that, do you think that could do something to his psyche and confidence?
You know what? I think his confidence maybe it may be broken, man, as far as him being that fighter. And you could tell just by the way he was anticipating the judge's decision. He didn't know if he won or lost because he really lost that fight, I think. I think he lost that fight. But he was wondering, man, are they going to give it to me or not? You know what I mean? And the thing is, you remember the Pacquiao fight. He said, man, they robbed me, man. You know I beat that boy. You know, and everybody saw Manny Pacquiao just wipe the sweat off this boy, you know, for every round. You know, but that's Adrian, the problem Broner. But we did get some good UFC from our Houstonian here in the city, Derrick Lewis. Big ups.
Man.
Beast, man. He went out there. Yeah, man. He went out there and, you know, did his job, man. He did his job. And the thing is, Black Beast was what, 4-1?
4-1 underdog.
Come on.
Crazy.
Come on. You know, and the thing is,
crazy.
I'm not saying you know, Derrick Lewis is you know, a wonder or anything like that. But as far as what Derrick Lewis has done over the over his tenure in the UFC, I wouldn't think it would be wise to put him, you know, 4-1 against anybody. Curtis Blades, I know, has been a fighter who has been relatively a heavyweight that fights like a smaller guy, want to go in and wrestle on the ground, takedowns, ground and pound, beat you into submission, those type of fights. But Derrick Lewis, man, has improved over his time in the game massively. We had Derrick Lewis on the show, and Derrick said, man, you know, I'm not in this for championships. All I want to do is pay my house off. And now just saw the brother just got a Lamborghini. Black. Sweet. He said, man, I always been wanting it. I'm a car man. So he done paid the house off. Okay. So now this is gravy. Now it's about, you know, different things. Derrick Lewis have proved to himself that, man, I can really actually do this. That I got kryptonite in this right hand. And if it touch you, you're going to sleep. And I tell you, man, Curtis Blades, in my years of watching the UFC, I've never seen a man get knocked out from an uppercut from that position. I just never have. But just go to show you the power in that right hand of the Black Beast.
Yeah, Michael Bisping called it too earlier in the fight. He said that Lewis is looking for whenever Curtis goes for the takedown, he shoots him on that takedown. Black Beast got him with a 1-2 early in the fight. And I thought that Bisping called it out right there, and that's what ended up happening. Just as soon as he went for the takedown, hit him with that uppercut, and he slept him. And Curtis was on him. You know, he slept him on top of his hand as he's going down, and then those couple of shots afterward were just vicious. But that's the job.
Hey, man, you heard what B said, right?
Blame Herb Dean.
No. He said blame Herb Dean. No, he said, man, look, man, I don't know. You know, it's my job to jump on the guy because he might have jumped up like the Undertaker.
Yeah, I heard him say that. He might just rise up like Undertaker. So just keep hitting him until somebody pulls me off.
Bro, that's the name of the game, man. Not a gentleman's sport. Okay, let's just say that. Not a gentleman's sport. But we got to get out of here, man. We'll be back on Wednesday, back inside the Hall of Fame. I want to thank everybody who donated tonight, man. Super chat to the Hall of Fame, and everybody who was just a part of the thing in general, man. We appreciate you guys. I always shout out your city too. Wednesday, back in the same place, same time. Bradley, he'll be with me as always. But right now, I gotta go eat. We out of here.
Can you dig it? You suck.